I've been doing these office hours for LLM evals. For the last 6 months or so, I've been telling people to look at data. It'll solve your problems. And I don't feel like people understand what we're saying. Like all of my conversations have centered around, oh, there's so much surface area in AI applications. There's RAG, there's the LLM calls, there's tools, there's agent architectures, multi-turn conversations. And then it's like, okay, where do I write my evals? Or like, where do I even check? There's so many different components. Do I test all of them? There's so much data. Do I just look at everything? Like, where do I begin? So all of those kind of things can be answered with this curiosity of looking at your data and using it to help you make decisions about how to prioritize your time, inform you of what might be going wrong, just like you would do as a data analyst in a business. Your boss walks over to you and say, hey, our third quarter profits are down, but I don't really know why. And then you go to work, start drilling into those numbers. Okay, like where did it go down? What geography? What product? One of my beliefs is to look at data, you want to have a tangible feel of it, like almost a physical connection to the data. So what does that mean? Like you pick up an object of some kind, right? This object, this coaster, and you just look at it from like different angles, like curious. Oh, okay, that's interesting. What's the material here? What's the color? And you don't really have a preconceived notion necessarily about what it is that you're picking up. You're just exploring it. You're like, okay, I wonder like what's here, what's going on. And I feel like when you're looking at data, it's like that too. While I can't teach data literacy in an hour completely, or I can't teach what it means to look at data, I can at least give you some intuition and we show you a little bit about what that means
Mm.
in terms of, okay, let's open a data set and let's let our curiosity drive us. And it's not only the data is a little bit different, right? It's not like you're just picking up an object again and just looking at it. You also need to pry it apart. You need to say, I want to get in there and see what's inside. And sometimes you need to add dimensions to the data. You need to enrich that data to be able to get inside it. You need to categorize it and do things. And this all becomes extremely important for LLMs or any AI endeavor, because if you can't do these things, you can't debug your LLM application at all.
Mm.
At some point, you're going to hit a plateau where things are not working as well as you want them to, especially after the phase where you build your first prototype. And you want to be able to dig in and understand, okay, what's working and what's not working.
Yep.
What errors am I facing? And where should I prioritize my efforts? And all of these kind of judgments and decisions that you want to make, it's really helpful to be able to look at that data. And without those skills, you're stuck. It's like very foundational. And I think that when I dig deeper and deeper into why people are getting stuck with large language models, this is the central reason. And I think that's something that's not taught. I was digging really deep. It's okay, what does it mean to look at data? It seems very trivial to us, maybe. Like you open some data and you start looking at it. So I try to reflect, what does that really mean? And that's why today I had that poll about pivot tables, because I was trying to understand like what activities people are doing, like what conceptions they have in mind. No one's out there teaching pivot tables. There are people teaching spreadsheets and pivot tables, but they're not really talking to machine learning engineers and data scientists. There's plenty of finance people and whatnot doing that. There's some data scientists obviously know about spreadsheets. And so I'm not trying to say you have to use pivot tables, but it is a good thing to experience. So you can experience what it is like to obtain a physical connection to your data, like this visceral connection. And then you can carry that idea with you while you are looking at your data in other tools.
Mm.
Or you try to make tools for yourself. You know what that frictionless feeling is once you experience it. And you can say, okay, if I build a way to look at my data somewhere else, it needs to feel like that.